Hello, and welcome back to the Taylor Seminars, where we talk about how Taylor Swift turns life into poetry. My name is Hannah, and I am here with my friend Exquisite. Hello.
Hi, Hannah.
We've been on a roll these past few weeks, getting some hard hitting songs.
We really have.
And today we get a different kind of hard hitting song, but one that's a little more, I don't know, jaunty is the right
Yeah,
word.
a little bit more jaunty. Um, this was also one of the original four she told us about
The four bonus
before
tracks, yeah.
she was keeping a bigger secret from us.
Hmm.
Um, and I do think this is remember, do you guys remember in our second episode we talked about how maybe the four bonus tracks are like four alternate endings or different endings. And I feel like the Bolter and the manuscript are two of the ones that feel like, oh yeah, these are definite endings.
Yeah, I want to say the Bolter. It's to me, it feels the most like right where you left me, in that
Mm,
it's a kind of ending that's a little bit autofiction. We talked about autofiction last week. If you don't recall, it's an autobiography but with a
mm,
fiction lens. I think that right where you left me and the Bolter are two protagonists. One who remains where they are and like gets stuck, is frozen, and then the
mm.
Bolter is the woman, the character within her that gets out of there as quick as she can.
Exactly.
And they're both
Exactly.
kind of endings for, right, like alternate endings, quote unquote. Right where you left me
The
forevermore
Bolter
and
is
Bolter.
why the Bolter is why we get songs like Getaway Car.
Yes, yes. Oop, let me turn off my phone. But yeah, it's very very it's very well, let's just get into it. Let's just get into it.
Yeah.
But of course, a few housekeeping things. It's track 29 of the anthology. It's very much an Aaron Dessner and Taylor Swift song. And I think I just read, I just looked at it. It was first announced at Melbourne Night One of the Eras Tour. Um, and so, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the
Any
Bolter.
Oh, the Bolter. Yeah. I mean, the Bolter, I think people very quickly realized it was probably about running away to bolt.
Yeah,
Um,
because she also showed us those little the
was it
the
a rabbit?
the magnet is like a rabbit, like a bolting rabbit, like it's running.
Yeah. So yeah, let me start with verse 1. By all accounts, she almost drowned when she was 6 in frigid water, and I can confirm she made a curious child, ever reviled by everyone except her own father. With a quite bewitching face, splendidly selfish, charmingly helpless, excellent fun till you get to know her, then she runs like it's a race. Behind her back, her best mates laughed, and they nicknamed her the Bolter.
I love the way that she sings all of this, by the way. I think she has such fun singing this song. Like it's cute. And then you realize she's just revealing random things to us. Like Taylor had just revealed that she almost drowned. Like she almost died as a kid.
Well, I personally am of the of
I
the
think it's
of the notion that this is autofiction, so she didn't actually almost. I don't think Taylor Swift actually fell to an icy pool. Maybe she did.
I 100% believe she did. This is
Oh,
exactly the kind of lyric that Taylor would do where she's like, yeah, that's something super specific that actually happened. Like she was sick, she was probably ice skating or something, like she's um Amy in Little Women, you know?
see, but that's for me. I think that this scene is so like movie novel like I right like I feel like
I
she
want her
just
so
lifted
bad.
she lifted it and was like, oh, this is what it's like, or like maybe she had some kind of, you know um crazy event. But I so that's why for me this song leans more autofiction, because I'm
You
like,
guys need to let us know. Do you think Taylor actually almost drowned?
yeah.
I feel like he does. I have more evidence to back this up
Okay,
later in the
no,
song.
I'm very
But
curious. I Either way, it is a very
it's great.
evocative song.
It's
um
very visual.
but yeah, falling through ice is no fun and very dangerous. um and oh, I do think it's interesting, that it's almost like I mean, so there, it's not almost like there is a narrator here, right? And like there's a she, this girl almost drowned,
Hmm.
and then I can confirm, and whether or not the
Hmm.
narrator is the girl, we can get into that. But she was, yeah, a curious child. And I read that in two ways: whether she was curious about the world, but also that she was peculiar, like she was strange.
Hmm. She was very weird,
Yeah.
a little precocious even.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that. And so yeah, ever reviled. That's not a great
Yeah.
term just to describe a child, or especially a child,
Not.
but not a person.
Oh, and what it is, it's like
To be
this is
reviled
where
is to
it
be
comes.
like criticized or to be even
Yeah.
angrily hated.
Yeah, and she's literally this is where we get into our hyperbole. And we know it's hyperbole because later in the same verse she goes her best mates, so her best friends, her friends. Um, but everybody hates her but her father. Like that's funny. I think this is one of the only times in a Taylor song where the father is like a purely good person and it's only them that's good. Like typically we'll get like the mother is good and the brother is good and the father is
I
like a
have an
character.
excellent father. His
Exactly.
faith is
But
making.
she's never like said only my dad had my back.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that's fun. I again, I just love like on a proper just like storytelling level. It is just so it's so interesting. We start with an almost drowned person and then keep going with like nobody liked her, but she was beautiful, but she was also like selfish, you know? She was splendidly selfish. So she was constantly thinking about herself, but it was fun. It
Yeah.
was fun.
It
It was
very
in a good way.
much evokes to me, going back to my autofiction, of like, it's very much like a fairy tale, right? You have a girl who's only a father, like the mother is missing. That's a lot of fairy tales, right? We have dead
Hmm.
mothers or gone mothers, right? Who
Hmm.
who are very close to their father, and like oftentimes like will like go hunting with the father, or like she like rides horses with him, and they have this very close bond. Like to me, that's the
And
image.
everybody else always hates her because she's pretty, but maybe she doesn't like either she's an airhead or maybe she's so pretty and nice that nobody likes that. Like think Cinderella and Snow White almost.
Exactly, exactly. And
Which
then
works. It brings up chariots later, but
yeah,
continue.
and so yeah, and it is so fun, like, and excellent fun till you get to know her. Then she runs like it's a race, right? And how do you run in a race? Very quickly, as fast as you can.
Very quickly, very quickly. She's a runner, she's a track star.
Yeah, no,
Um
literally.
also I do want to talk that charmingly helpless is again, it's like this is if we want to say fairy tale characters, like the most like I'm thinking Snow White, and again, she was the first Disney princess, and she was irritating because she would irritate me personally. I never liked Snow White. Sorry, that's my own grievance. I hate that princess. She's so annoying. But she was like charming, like in her helplessness and like the way she runs through the woods, like it's cute, even though it's like, girl, you're not running fast enough. Get but a lot of the classic princesses like they can't save them. So I mean they could if we want to go in the like Disney modern spin on princesses for whatever reason. But you like look at Sleeping Beauty, like she's helpless, but she's also charming and she's like hated by some people, but other people really love her because she's beautiful and nice. But is she nice to be nice or is she nice because she's selfish? Is that what splendidly selfish means? Like she's nice because it makes her feel good. I don't know. It's fun. She's very princess. And the way she's singing it, princess. It like I see an animated movie.
No, yeah, I think the way she sings this and tells this story is fantastic. And yeah, and they nicknamed her the Bolter. Like every time she gets close to somebody, she bounces. So
Yep.
why don't you get into the
Yep.
chorus?
I will. But also I want to say that's a fairy tale thing. Like to have the main character not named but nicknamed. Like
Ooh,
like Cinderella is not her name. Her name is Ella, but they made fun of her
because she was in the
her
cinders.
stepsister. So because she always had soot on her face, they're like, her name's gonna be Cinderella. Like, first of all, that's rude. What? And it happens in this song where they're like, yeah, that's the Bolter. She doesn't get her actual name. She's the Bolter.
I love that. That's a great connection.
Okay, so we got this really fun chorus. It's so fun. Started with the kiss. Oh, we must stop meeting like this. But it always ends up with the town car speeding out the drive one evening. Ended with the slam of a door. Then he'll call her a whore. Wish he wouldn't be sore. But as she was leaving, it felt like breathing. All her fucking lives flashed before her eyes. It feels like the time she fell through the ice, then came out alive.
I love that.
It's so there's so much good there. Like just she's like chorus. Like we've got she set it up really beautifully where she's like, this is a person who will leave. Like you guys gotta understand. She's gonna
That's
the
part of who
second
she
he
is.
goes, she has no choice but to leave. And then she sets up why. No, well, she doesn't even set up why she leaves yet, but she sets up the beginning and the end of relationships. It always starts with a kiss, some coy flirtation, like we must stop meeting like this, which is also like rom-com, like they bump into each other. That's like a saying. It's like,
Hmm.
oh, we got to stop meeting like this. It's coy, it's flirtatious, it's cute. And then it ends with the town car speeding at night. She gets out of here. She packs her bags, leaves Cornelia Street before they even knew she was gone.
Ouch.
She leaves.
She's in that. She put the money in the bag and she stole the keys. She got out of
And
there.
that was the last time you ever saw me. Um, but also she says, okay, it ends like that, but then she continues on where she's like, so I'm gonna be in the town car speeding, or maybe someone else says. She doesn't exactly say, but she
Right.
goes, it ended with the slam of a door, then he'll call her a whore. So whoever it is that she's leaving, or maybe it's multiple people that the Bolter is leaving, they will slut shame her on the way out. And she's like, wish it couldn't be like that, but oh well.
Yeah, like it's a very like I love the way you said that. Very like, well, I guess, right? I wish he wouldn't be like sore. Like, so that's like, wish he wouldn't be feel so jilted. Wish he wouldn't feel hurt. Wish he wouldn't
Mm,
do that. Like, I thought this was just a game. It's very much to me reads like blank space, right? Nice to meet you.
mm,
Where you been? I can show you incredible things. Magic man is heaven sin. Sorry there. And I thought, oh my
mm,
god, look at that face. You look like my next mistake. Like the whole song is like, we're gonna fly. I'm gonna, fly you in, fly us out, and then we could be over, right?
exactly. So she's like, I thought this was a game. Why are you hurting so
Oh yeah,
bad?
loves a game, wanna play. I was like, what line am I looking for in blank space?
That's what she thought that's what the Bolter thinks it is, right? But also we know it's more than that because she compares having to leave to drowning and then getting that first gasp of breath. Like it feels like the time she fell through the ice. So she's like, it feels like drowning, but I came out and because of that, I can breathe freely. Like apparently there's a lot of pain here, even though she's not like saying it. Like the violence of torture post department is not taken away just because we're in this fun song. Like like she feels like she's dying as she's leaving,
And
but she also feels like she's breathing for the first time. That's a lot to hold in one person.
yeah, I definitely feel that there is still there's this fun in there, but then well, I think especially we can see that kind of the pain in the relationship too in the post chorus, which is like all her fucking lives flash before her eyes, right? Like where she suddenly like something in her triggers where she's like, oh, I'm in danger. Like this situation
Yeah.
I'm in
And
is bad, and
I'm
I've been here
dying. And I'm
before.
watching it happen over and over
Yeah,
again.
and I got to get the fuck out of here, right? And so that's where she realizes like, okay, this was fun and flirtatious, and this was interesting and fun, but there's like this pattern where it always ends up seeming like there's a town car where I need to end up in this town car. I need to end up running away. And even if he starts calling me bad names, like
Hmm.
this freedom is what's going to keep me alive.
Yeah. The only way that she can get out, like she's drowning or whatever, and she has to go. She know you know when it's time to go. Like you know.
Hey, we just talked about one of the Evermore endings. That's the other one, right?
Exactly. Like and yeah, she's either the person that gets stuck and or the person that has to go. And I feel like we've seen in Taylor songs where her first instinct is to leave first. You got to leave before you get left.
That's an I did
And
something
it's
bad.
part of it's like that's what it's like all her lives are they're flashing before her eyes because she's like I have to leave before I get left. I've been here before. I feel like I'm drowning in this. I got to go.
Yep.
Hmm.
All right.
You want to take the next verse?
Yes. He was a cad, wanted her bad, just like any good trophy hunter. And she liked the way it tastes. Taming a bear, making him care, watching him jump, then pulling him under. And at first blush, this is fate. When it's all roses, portrait poses, Central Park Lake, and tiny rowboats. What a charming Saturday. That's when she sees the littlest leaks down in the floorboards, and she just knows she must bolt.
Ugh. I love everything about this second
This
verse
second
because
verse,
again,
if you don't
I
know,
love
Taylor
the way
Swift's
she
second
sings
verses
it.
are some of the like they're like she tops herself. It's crazy.
She like just taps into something. Um, but no, like he was a cad, so a cad is like he's a flirt. He's not a good
Yeah,
person.
yeah,
He's not a good person.
bad guy, but like an old term.
Yeah, but he wanted her bad, and that's what made it fun. Like
Yeah,
it made it fun that he wants her so bad, and just and I love the just like any good trophy hunter because you have to remember she is nicknamed after an animal, so she is the bolter. She's a like a prize rabbit, and so a good trophy hunter is going to see just how good she is at running and want to hang that up and want to tie it down.
yeah, that's like a
Um,
very common trope too, like a trophy hunter going after his prey. Moby Dick,
exactly.
for example.
But then she flips this. She says she can take the upper hand and touch your body. So even here, she says, like, he's trophy hunter. He's trying to hunt her down, hang her on the wall. And she's like, well, she likes taming bears. So she likes the way it tastes to tame him and make him care about her.
Yeah, it's like she's flipping. What I can make the tables turn, right?
Hmm.
That's literally what she's doing here. Gosh, Blank Space, such a good song, right?
I
Um,
know. So watching him jump, then pulling him under, like he's trying to get out. She's like, oh, come to me.
yeah. And then she
Oh,
watches him jump in. And I love that because she fell into the water, but now she's using that similar imagery where he jumps in willingly into this
hmm. And she pulls him
relationship
down deeper
and she
even.
pulls him deeper to drown him.
Drown with her. Jump in that jump in that
Yeah, but
fishbowl.
yeah. So she's not literally drowning him, but what she's like taking him deeper into this relationship into trying to make it seem something like
Yeah.
real and deep.
Yeah.
Um,
So if he flirts first, she's gonna be like, you're gonna fall very deeply in love with me. Think slut. You're not saying you're in love with me, but you're going to.
and at first blush, this is fate. Like, look at this photo. It's like a romantic, like those romantic comedies where like
Hmm.
in what's the movie 10 Things I Hate About You, where it's like he was told to like go flirt with this girl so that her sister could go to prom or something, but then in the process he falls in love with the girl and she and like fall and like there's lots of
Yeah.
romantic tropes where like they're not supposed to fall in love but they do. So at first blush, oh, maybe this is one of those romantic movies where the two people like aren't supposed to be together but then they fall in love and then happy ending. But
Yes. Yeah, no, exactly. And so it's fate. And then she describes a very beautiful date, right? He's giving her roses. They're posing together for people to paint them. And then they're in those little cute rowboats together that you'll also sometimes see in rom-coms.
yep.
Um, I I remember my favorite scene of like a rowboat is have you ever seen Aquamarine?
No, but it's the one it's got mermaids or something, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's the one. It's got mermaids, and in Aquamarine, I like it because it's like a subversion of the trope because they do get in a little rowboat, but she can't get wet and the sun's going down, so she like gets out and like runs away. Um, it's very cute. But anyway, so Central Park Lake. tiny rowboats. Like they're really cute together. They're like rowing.
She has
What
like
is
an
another one?
umbrella or something.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my goodness. I want to say Princess Diaries part two when she's courting her. She's being courted by the other dude, and so they're going on all these cute little dates. It's very charming. And I
But
do love the way she says, "What a charming Saturday."
oh yeah, that is like one of the new like Instagram captions I see all the time.
It's not enchanting though. I feel like that's important. It's just charming. It's cute.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what it kind of gives?
What?
It oh my God, why would I say that and then immediately lose it? I'm thinking fearless. Hold on, help me, Hannah. Help me. He is sensible and so incredible and
Oh,
all
that's
things.
the way I loved you.
Yeah, it gives the way I love you in that she's like, it's cute, it's cute, we're cute, this works.
Uh, to me, I mean, I just go back to the earlier in the song where she's charmingly helpless, right?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Everything's so charming.
yeah.
This
Um,
song is charming.
the song is, yeah, but it's got a sharpness to it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I also say I think the use of charming specifically is is helping to invoke the fairy tale-ness of it all.
yeah, Prince
Um,
Charming, I think is another connection that you can
hmm
make.
hmm
But yeah, that's when she
Charming
sees
Saturday.
the littlest leaks. So if you don't know,
Hmm.
you can't have any leaks on a boat. It's just the antithesis of what makes a boat float.
Yep.
And so she looks down in the floorboards that make up this tiny rowboat, and there's water starting to drip in. And she's
And
like,
mind you, it's a little bit, but instead of patching,
yeah,
she's like,
if it's a little leak, you could totally patch. You know, you could bail out some water till you get back to shore. But she's like, nah, I'm out of here.
no, I will not. I'm just going to leave. Like she says, that's when she just knows she must bolt. So
Exquisite.
maybe she doesn't bolt that instant, but she knows.
She
Like,
doesn't want to go down with the ship with her dying grip.
we're gonna literally, so long London is what happens when a bolter stays too long because they're trying to go against their instincts.
Yeah.
And
And you
it
said
didn't
I
go well.
abandoned the ship, but
I
I was
was going
going down with
down with
it.
it.
My white
Oh,
knuckle dying grip.
ugh, ugh. I will also say this is like as fairy tale gives Cinderella, like when she sees the clock ticking, she like, I need to get out of here. I gotta run.
Yep.
Um, yeah. So then we have that chorus again, but then she gets into the
Let's
bridge,
go. Let's
which
get
is
the bridge exquisite.
so fun. She's been many places with men of many faces. First, they're off to the races, and she's laughing, drawing aces. But none of it is changing, that the chariot is waiting. Hearts are hers for the breaking. There's escape in escaping.
My gosh, what a bridge.
So fun. I also love like y'all while she's if you're listening to this, you've heard the song, but she's like speeding up. Like that's the best part of it. She's like, and then it like breaks at there's escape in escaping.
Yeah, it's
Like
just there's some space
so
there.
she's like ramping up, like getting out, and then she's like, I can breathe again. That's what it feels like listening to.
Yeah. I mean, okay. Let's go. She's been lots of places with men of many faces,
So
and
so many different men, so many different situations.
yeah, I mean, there's the whole, again going back to blank space, right? I've got a long list of ex lovers, um,
Hmm.
and
They'll tell you I'm
mm-hmm,
insane. But
mm-hmm,
she runs.
um, and then I did see like a note somewhere where they were like men of many faces could also be, like the face cards of a deck of cards, which later comes
Hmm.
back to like laughing, drawing aces. Getting a little ahead of myself, but they're off to the races, right? And when they're off to the races. That's usually like it can be two things.
They're running together.
They're running together, right? It also
You'll
could be
see
that.
it.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say you hear it a lot. Maybe if you watch horse
That's what I was
racing,
gonna say. Yep,
and they
yep.
like shoot the gun.
And then
They're off.
they're off to the races. Secretariat,
Someone's pulling
Seabiscuit.
ahead.
Yeah.
The
Uh,
bolter has taken a late lead. There she
yeah.
goes.
And they're again. I think this it kind of also goes back to the whole trophy hunter versus the bolter thing too, like where they're off to the races, like who's gonna get who.
Who's gonna lock it down?
And she's
Who's
laughing.
the
She's having a
hero?
grand old time.
Mm-hmm.
And she's drawing aces. So if you're drawing aces, that's a good thing. In like poker, like if you have a bunch of aces in your hand, like four aces, you're gonna win,
You're
right?
winning.
Yeah. If you have like a three of a kind of aces, or like a full house with aces, like you're doing fantastic. And we know she loves to play her ace, new romantics. It's poker. He can't see it
Mm-hmm.
in my face, but I'm about to play my ace.
Exactly. And then she like lets us know. She's like, "Look, I may be having a lot of fun, but my car is waiting right outside.
Yeah. It doesn't
If
change.
I
It
have
doesn't
to leave,
change the
I'll
fact
leave."
that the bolter is in her. Like even if they're having
Mhm.
fun, she is the chariot slash town car slash getaway
Mhm.
car is waiting.
Hearts are hers for the breaking. Ugh, like, yep. She's like, I can do it. Like, I can break all the hearts I want because they're mine. And if you also think like if we keep the deck of cards, hearts are a suit, and she's the queen of them, you know?
Yeah,
Which, Alice in Wonderland, another fairy tale. That's a whole different thing though. But she has played with Wonderland imagery before.
Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah. Also, this is where we can kind of feel this song as a warning song to me. Like it feels like a warning where when you tell like sometimes you have to wonder like myths and fairy tales the purpose. Sometimes it's not like to tell a story, but fables, like I'm thinking Aesop fables are like to teach a lesson. And so this song feels like the speaker who we only have heard from once. We've heard from the speaker of this song once, and it is when she goes, and I can confirm she made a curious child.
Hmm.
So the speaker is talking to someone. Like it's almost like we're listening to a bard tell a grand tale of this like mythical woman slash bolter. And so she's like, this is a warning. She's like, hearts are hers for the breaking. She's going to break your heart, you know? If she wants to, if she feels like leaving, she's gonna break your heart.
Yeah,
Um, so you really do get that warning song, but then you also get again, there's escape and escaping. Like she feels free when she finally gets out.
yeah, and
Makes it hurt.
yeah, and it's not even that she's just doing this for fun. Like yeah, hearts are hers for the breaking, but to me, it's also just it's like it's also that she does need it. I don't know how to
She
say
has
this.
to leave.
She has to. Yeah, she
It's
has to leave.
self-preservation.
Yeah,
Because remember, this is a hunter. If she doesn't stay, he's gonna kill her.
yeah, 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 and
He's a bad man, a cad.
yeah, yeah. This is not a good person. Let
Yeah, it's a bear. Like she describes him as a hunter, a bear, and a cad. This types of men. Also the type of men that will call you a whore because you said goodbye.
yeah. Let's not forget that. Right?
Like slurs spoken.
Literally slurs spoke. That's and so I
She didn't
think
even do anything. She just said bye. And it's also the type of man that's gonna slam doors on you. Like this is we have to the Bolter is like a curse almost for bad men. If you're a cad, she's gonna come and give you a taste of your own medicine because of that. Like, come on, these are not good men that's being described here.
and so yeah, let's go. But then how does she view this, right? The chorus comes back, but she does the thing she loves to do every once in a while is just twist that
Hmm.
final chorus. Started with a kiss, oh we must stop meeting like this, but it always ends up with the town car speeding at the drive one evening. Is this the one where she goes evening? Like she like
Hmm.
sings it
Hmm.
up. Oh, so
Yes, yes. She like opts up. It's
yeah.
great.
Ended with the slam of a door, but she's got the best stories. You can be sure that as she was leaving, it felt like freedom.
Yep. Ugh. And this is where to me the speaker kind of like is implying that I'm the bolter. Oh, I'm the bolter. Because we know the speaker is telling a story, and then she goes, but you can be sure she's got the best stories. You're listening to one right now. This is where you get the reveal. Like if you are a bard telling a tale, like if you're listening to a bard telling you a tale, this is where you're like, oh, this is their story.
Yeah, it's very much like the whole song thing, where at
Yeah,
the end, like it's like, and I'm the son of the man who murdered,
ex-
you know, whatever.
exactly. And that's why she goes, you can be short. Like she brings the audience back in again. She hasn't since the beginning, and she's like, you can be short. She's got the best stories. And the only reason we, the audience, can be sure of this is because we're listening to one of her stories right now.
Yeah, yeah.
She writes the best song. She's writing our song again to steal words from Rob Chef.
No, for real, and I love that the reclamation she has, where she's
Mhm.
like, it's yeah. Once again, it ended with the slam of the door, but in the end, I'm gonna come out with stories to tell, and
Mhm.
also I'm gonna be free. Like it's a good thing that I left. If I had stayed,
And
I
that's
would
why
have
it
died.
feels like freedom.
Yeah.
She can't be stabbed with push pins and hung on a wall if
Yeah.
she's gone,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
feeling like breathing is great, right? Going from drowning or suffocating to breathing is great. But then this imagery now of freedom, of being let out of a cage. We've talked about
it's
cage
giving
imagery before.
a proper fresh out the slammer, not running into something worse.
Yes, I love that. Yeah, I mean, to me, I still think of this as autofiction, even if we have the twist of, oh, I'm the narrator. But either way,
Yeah, it's
Taylor,
still autofiction. It's autofiction no matter
yeah,
what.
but
But
Taylor slash protagonist, the way that, yeah, she becomes the our song storyteller, and she, is able to manuscript all this like out
mhm.
is crazy. And um, I don't know when you, dear listener, are listening to this, but recently, like all the Spotify's and Apple Music replays and all those things came out, like the end of the year lists and stuff. And for me, I think just looking back at this year and how much Taylor has done and how much she's shared in this era of her life, it's like
Yeah,
she could have swept this all under the rug, but she
a
was like,
lot of lesser women would not have
yeah,
written any of this.
but she was like, these feelings that I've had and the things that I've gone through, I'm going to be so vulnerable about it because I believe it tells a story that will connect to the audience and will, open people's eyes and perspectives and minds and make me a better artist as
Yeah,
well. And
yeah, and it's
it
like
worked.
it does, and it's like she's gonna touch on this very, very explicitly in the manuscript, which we'll get to in 2 weeks. But it's something that she's told us on stage, like during her lover speeches. She's like, these stories were once about my lives, but now they can remind you of maybe this moment or another moment. I remember in some of the Champagne Problem speeches, maybe a while ago, it's been a long tour, where she was like, being able to sing these back with you, it it has changed the meaning, or like it makes me feel not so alone to know you guys are also feeling the same thing and maybe also not feeling so alone. And that's why it feels like freedom, because she's going to share. She's going to tell her tale. Um and she's going to share it with everybody. And that's also where we get the all of her lives are flashing before her eyes, not only because she's literally in the middle of drowning, but because she's aware that she's going to come out of it again better. And this, it just reminds me of the imagery in the Cardigan music video where she's in the the giant storm and she's
On
clinging
the
to the
ocean.
piano. Yeah. And it also reminds me of her literally saying she felt like she would not have survived if she didn't write the Tortured Poets Department. Like she had to get it out. And again, Taylor is just so utterly shameless that it just astounds me that some people think that there is like nothing she won't share in a song. And I so admire that. And it astounds me that people would judge her for like, okay.
Yeah, no, I think it's I saw a tweet that was like, this the but Daddy I Love Him is like the most embarrassing song. Like how could you like to like say like to be like, I was so manic, I wanted to marry this man that everyone knows was crazy. And then, but then she's like, but she also made it a bop. Like, it's like,
Exactly. Like so many of these things, again, it's like things you could not waterboard out of me, but I'm so thankful that Taylor shared it because
because it gives you
someone had to
space
put it
to,
into words.
yeah, yeah. And
Someone
then,
had to put the smallest man who ever lived into words.
no, literally. And then because of that, she made a beautifully cohesive standard album that tells an amazing story.
Hmm.
And then the anthology then like fills in those like gaps with all the
It fills in the
footnotes.
gaps. It takes us through time.
Yeah.
It tells us about these cycles that she finds herself in. And the Bolter is one of those cycles that
Yeah.
she tells us about.
Yeah. I feel like the standard is like, yeah, is the chronological story. And then the anthology is like, okay, but why? Right? Like, and then, right, from the prophecy to, yeah, the bolter, even the albatross,
To
right? Like,
Peter,
Peter, yeah.
all of
Like,
them. All of them, she's just like, oh, this is why. And then it is, again, we'll talk about it in the manuscript, but she touches on it here of she's got the best stories, um, and she's going to tell them. She's gonna tell them. And there's such agency in that that she's like,
yeah.
I can leave and tell. I love it. I love it.
I think that's why she always says that she's a songwriter first.
Hmm.
She's also a singer, she's also a performer, a guitarist, all a pianist, all that stuff. But she's always says songwriter first. And dear listeners, we are basically acting like Taylor Swift, like in Toronto, where she kept like being like, this isn't the last stop, but I can't stop crying, right? Like, I feel like this is for you and me too. Like, this is not the
Yeah.
last episode, but we're just like,
Two more.
I
But
know.
it's like, and then we're probably gonna have like our retrospective on TTVD as a whole.
Oh yeah.
That's
So dear listeners, now that you're since you're here, we're gonna do Robin the manuscript, and then we'll do one episode that kind of like sums up what we've learned um, throughout this both this podcast and throughout the almost year. It won't be a year, but whatever.
yeah, just the amount of time we've taken to hold space for Torture Post Department. Because that's what we've been doing. Like we've been allowing the songs their time to like
Correct.
grow and really sit with all of them.
So yeah.
And I'm so attached. I'm so attached to Zelda. It just means so much. It means so much to me. I don't know. I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have this album this year.
That's yeah, it was such an event, and you if you do not follow Exquisite on Twitter, you should for her occasional slash frequent So Long London breakdown. All right, any thoughts on the emoji for this week?
For I want it to be a pumpkin because I'm thinking Cinderella.
I love. Let's do it. Let's do a pumpkin. Everyone's gonna be like, "What is going on?" So yes, if you do follow us on Twitter, you can at us with a pumpkin emoji. We'd love to hear your thoughts about the bolter, whether you think Taylor fell through the ice in real life or not. Um, we don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. I want to ask her so bad. I just want to be like, so Taylor, this is one of the things I'm like, I need her to have an interview so someone can ask, did you fall through the ice? Like, did you
Yeah.
almost drown? Because it's so interesting. Only Taylor would be like, all these relationships made me feel like I was dying, but I came through at the end anyway. Like, she's so good.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All right. Well, hope everyone has a good week, and we will talk to you in 1 week. Bye.
with no more eras
I know, no more eras. Well, when
ever.
this comes out, it will be the end of eras. It'll be this like the final shows have begun. So,
Oh my God.
so yes, I'm sure we'll talk about that next episode too. Thanks all.
Bye.